my internet's gonna work. So, hello everybody. It's Sheila from Designs by Babymoon, and I am gonna see if my internet's gonna hold out so I can show you guys what I wanted to show you. So, earlier, actually, it was last night, late last night, I had a group member email me with a design idea that she had seen and said, "Hey, we can make these." And I'm like, "Yes, we could make those." So um, these things happen, and I had to just go do it because it actually solved a problem that we were having. Actually, that's been kind of a current problem, ongoing problem in my house, mainly just with me. But so hey, if you're here and you're watching, I can't see, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look on my phone to see if I can see it. Let's see. I'm in. Let me get in the group and let me see. I'm doing this from my computer with a different camera because I wanted to see. I've had all kinds of weird camera issues, situations happen this week, and so it hasn't quite always worked right. Oh, good, there it is right there. I want to be able to see comments, and so I don't think I can see it here. So I'm going to put my phone here so I can see if you comment, and then I might be able to answer your question. So anyway, I know you wanted to know about my technical difficulties. Sorry. But I did want to say hi and show you guys how to stitch up this little design. Like I said, it's fresh. It's fresh off the machine. These little babies aren't even 24 hours old because I did it in the middle of the night last night. And it's one of those things like you're winding down from the day and you're ready to fall asleep, and then you get an idea and you have to just go do it. That's about how this was. Let me show you what it is. So this is the earbud buddy. And it's a super simple little design. And what I love about it is that in my house, we've had this issue with earbuds, earphones, anything you stick in your ear, because everybody's using devices. So I've got 3 kids doing distance learning. I've got 3 teenagers that are actually in school on campus, and then I've got 2 college kids at home. So we've got devices all over the place, which we've never had before. And then we've got everybody's, because we've got competing devices, everybody's got to have headphones or earbuds or something to help them focus on what's in front of them. And because I'm trying to get work done at the same time, and I have things I have to do, and I have projects that I'm working on, I have people that I'm collaborating with, I'm trying to stay focused. So I've even been wearing earbuds too, which is not something I ever wanted to do because I don't like isolating myself in a room full of people. But when I'm trying to get work done and they've got their stuff going on, and I found that it's just helped me to focus. So I got me some earbuds. I have some that connect to my phone, but I don't really, my ears, I feel like I'm weird, but I don't like the way the Apple ones feel in my ears, and I don't like the way the AirPod things feel in my ears. So I just went and got me some earbuds from Walmart, and they work out great because they have tiny little tips. And I don't know if my ears are weird or what, but these work fine for me, and I can hear with them, so hearing's good. Anyway, but I have misplaced these. I have tangled them up. I have let them string out of my pocket, and I've walked away from, you know, what I'm doing with the earbuds attached to the computer, and I'm like over there. And so I'm learning how to do life with earbuds, and I'm not good at it yet. But I do need to keep my earbuds like my earbuds are mine. It's not like something, it's like a toothbrush to me. It's like I'm not going to share it with my other people. And we were trying to do that before. We were trying to share headphones and earbuds, and it's just one of those things, and I don't know if I just never had thought about it before, but it's to me, it's like a toothbrush, and everybody's going to have their own one, and we're not going to share these because they're going in our ears. So I have my own earbuds. I feel like a real grown up. I'm using earbuds like a real grown up. The kids are teaching me things. But when our friend sent this little idea over last night through private message, I was like, yes, I'm going to make that because it will fix my problem right now. She said. So anything to help me stay organized and keep products. So this design file is considered a product, and so it sends people off of Facebook, and they don't like that. So one of our group members tagged the product in the comments of that post. So if you go look in the post comments, you'll see the link to the design file. And a little bit later, after I go through and look at the comments, I will post the link to this design file, but I didn't put it in the title. Otherwise, you wouldn't have seen it. So you wouldn't have seen the live video. You wouldn't have seen anything about it. So we're just going to stitch it up together because I want to show you how fast and easy these are. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So basically, it's a keeper for your earbuds. And I know we've made several different kinds of these designs before, but this one's really clever. And let me tell you why. So it looks just like this when you stitch it out. So this is what you end up with after you run the stitching. And we'll do that together so you can see how fast and easy it is. But basically, it's a little X shape with grooves so you can wrap your earbuds around it like I have on this one. This is the back side over here. Okay. And then you have these arms. These two wide pieces are basically arms that come around and they hug your cord so that they stay tidy in there. Isn't that cute? So basically what that means is I can unwrap this a little bit, plug it in, close the arms over part of the cord, and then keep this plugged in and on my ears, or I can just keep it with me. I can take when I need to go, because I don't always take my earbuds with me when I'm out, and I should, because we're trying to do, like, if we go anywhere at all, somebody's trying to catch up on a lesson on their device in the car, and so I can't have like a podcast or something playing, and so I got to have an earbud if I'm going to listen to something besides what somebody else is doing for school. And we're not supposed to do that. So I'm trying to help them stay their privacy for their schoolwork, and me do something that makes my mind, it fills me up too. So anyway, so I got to take my earbuds with me. So let's stitch these out together. So let me tell you what you're going to need. And I'm going to, let me show you first the design file. So I'm going to share my screen with you real quick so you can see where it is. Let's see, can I share it? Stream setup, maybe I have to go here. Stream setup. I can share my screen. Here we go. Nope, it's not going to let me share it. Okay, so let me just tell you. Can you see that? I can stop that, and let me see if I can share it now. Start screen sharing. Nope, that's not going to. Designs by Babymoon.com, and then you click, there's a green bar that runs all the way across the top of the page, and you click on that green bar. It'll say, I think it says click here, everything from new to old. So the newest designs that I've listed, you'll get to see them in order there. So I know some people like to scroll through categories and look for different things, like you want to see all the hand sanitizers, or you want to see all the stuffies. You can go through collections, but from the home page. But if you wanted to see what I've made first, you can go to that green bar and search by newest collections first, and this earbud buddy will be the first thing you see. It's a new file. The directions are actually right on the listing. How to put all the parts on so that it's real clear, and then we can reference this later in case anybody has questions about how to do it. So let me show you what you're going to need. So the first thing you're going to need is your 4x4 hoop. So anybody with any embroidery machine can make that, even if you have only 4x4 hoop machines. You'll need any kind of stabilizer. You can use cutaway or tearaway. There's nothing structurally in this design that will make it so that you have to use one or the other. I will tell you that I like using cutaway more than anything in my projects, especially lately. I just feel like it supports the stitches in embroidery better. And there are reasons why you would use tearaway or a different kind of stabilizer in another project. But most things lately, I like using cutaway, and I like a medium weight cutaway. So if you have an option where you get your I feel that gives the stitches a lot more support. So 4x4 hoop, hooped with stabilizer. I'm going to move the camera in a minute so you can see what I'm doing on my embroidery machine, but let me tell you what else we need. I'm going to go ahead and slide that on. So on there, it's ready to go. You'll need some vinyl. I have embroidery vinyl from My Punk Embroidery This is their mirror vinyl, and this it's vinyl. You want to make sure that it is stable and it won't rip. And get it pretty quick. This is some light blue specific, and you have to use a certain weight of bobbin thread. My internet just went weird. Hey, I'm back. So I switched to my phone, which is not the greatest light, but it's what we got. So it's what we're gonna go with, and I can't do it sideways, so it'll be a little bit harder for me to show you what's going on. So if you're still in here with me, thank you for hanging out. At least I'll be able to see your comments. We're talking about the earbud buddy. I think I told you about the materials that we need. We need vinyl. You need your hoop with a 4x4 hoop, hooped with stabilizer, and you'll need the regular things that you need for making snap tabs or eyelet tabs. I'm not sure exactly where it cut off last time. I just saw that it quit streaming, and there's like a delay, and then all my kids ran in and complained about the internet not working, which is what they do. So that's the only way I knew. Anyway, let me make sure that we are, can you give me, I need to see if we are in the group. That's what I need to see right now. So I'm gonna look over here. My computer's on, and it's telling me that over here that I'm still streaming, but obviously it's not. So sorry about the technical glitches. And I'm gonna have help soon with videos, so that's actually gonna be really helpful. And we'll have better videos. Okay, I see people on here. Oh, Emma, hi Emma. Emma, will you tell your mom I have stuff for her? I need to email your sister and tell her I have stuff for your mom. Hi Debbie, I can see you on here too. Oh, it's nice to see y'all. I'm not just talking to myself. Let's see if I can see over here real quick. And we are, yep, we're on, I can see it in there. So we are gonna sew up the earbud buddy. And the earbud buddy is a super simple little 4x4 hoop project. I'm not gonna tell you all the things that I told you before, because you know what, I'm gonna have to, because I'll erase that other video completely. It's just what I'll do. So this earbud buddy, a group member sent me a picture last night and said, we need these. And I'm like, yes, we totally need these. It is basically an earbud cord keeper wrap. And it has these cute little arms that open, and you can put you can wind your earbuds on it. See that little notches at the top and the bottom hold your cord really securely. And then when your cord's all wound up, or if you just need to unwind it a little bit so that you can use it and then keep the rest of your cord safe, you can, but these little arms will snap around your cord to keep it all tidy. So you're not losing your earbuds or getting them tangled, or shove them in your pocket and then they get all gross and fall apart, which has happened. We've had all of the situations with all of the earbud issues that you can imagine just in the last 2 weeks, and it's been annoying. So when our friend sent this over last night and said, can you make these? I'm like, yes, and I'm gonna make 1 million of them tonight. And so I was almost ready to go to sleep, and I didn't. I made earbud buddies all night, which was fun and productive, and I haven't had earbuds together with me all day long. So let's just start over, and I'll tell you what you need. You're gonna need your 4x4 hoop for your embroidery machine. So it doesn't matter what size machine you have, anybody can make this design file. I'm using cutaway stabilizer in mine. I already have it hooped tightly in my hoop. I like using cutaway stabilizer because I feel like it supports the stitches better. You can use tearaway, so if you have tearaway and that's all you have, you can use it. I like using cutaway for most of the embroidery projects that I do because I feel like it supports the stitches better. But this design, it really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my hoop on my machine. I've got my design file loaded. Let me tell you about the rest of the stuff you're gonna need. You're gonna need some embroidery vinyl. And in the other video, I told you that I like vinyl that doesn't tear. So if you buy vinyl or you're looking for vinyl, and you can double check that the vinyl doesn't rip with your hands. Like you can't actually make a rip in it with your hands. That's really important within the hoop projects because they get used differently. This is a project where you're going to be snapping and unsnapping. You're going to have it in your pocket. You're going to have it attached to your keys, or your kids are going to have it attached to their bag or their backpack. And so it's going to get a lot of stress and it's going to get a lot of wear. If your embroidery vinyl can tear, like by hand if you're using it, like these little seams right here, you're going to have, that will be compromised. It doesn't matter what kind of stabilizer you use. So you want to use a really high quality vinyl, like the stuff that my embroidery sells, because I've never gotten anything from them that tears. I've bought material from other sellers online and I've gotten, it's been beautiful, but then you try to use it and it tears. And so, and it probably is because I'm making designs with it that, you know, that it wasn't intended for. So just to be on the safe side, I kind of test things and push them to their limits. And so I know that you need a non-tearing vinyl to make this project with. So you'll need 2 pieces of it, the same size. And for simplicity, you can just cut 4x4 inch squares of it. That'll fit nicely in your 4x4 hoop. If you're like me and you want to just eyeball it so that you can kind of save space and see where it fits on your hoop best, that's fine as well. And you'll also need, you'll need an eyelet for the top. So I just have a little scrapbook eyelet that I got from probably Michael's in the scrapbook section. So this is just a little 5mm eyelet. You can also use the Dritz kind that are for sewing that you can get, you know, anywhere, any place that has sewing supplies. A quilt shop, big box store, they'll have them. And you'll need something to apply the eyelet with and punch a hole. I'm going to use my crocodile to punch a hole and set the eyelet. And then for the little arms, you're going to need cam snaps. So cam snaps are what we use in the snap tabs. They're just resin snaps. You're going to need 2 caps and a stud and a socket. So the instructions for doing all of this are on the design file listing. So if you go to the website designsbybabymoon.com and you search from newest to oldest, this is the first design that comes up. So it's brand new. You can go ahead and get it and make some along with me. You can probably get it and load it to your embroidery machine before I even get to start sewing. You might even be able to get done with it before I do. But I wanted to show you how we can do it so we can stitch it all together. I think when the last video cut off, I was talking about bobbin thread. You want to use the same thread in the top and bottom of your machine. And because it's 2-sided, so you get to see it on both sides. So you want your bobbin thread to match your top thread. If your machine is the kind of machine that only uses the fine thread for the bobbin, like some of the brother machines use 90 weight thread, you can get 90 weight colored thread, but it's you have to order it online or look hard for it in your local store if your stores are open right now. It's probably easiest to order it online. I know Wonderfil makes some colored 90 weight or 80 weight and 100 weight threads that you can use for bobbin thread. Thread Art also has some fine threads that are at least 60 weight. So if you have a machine that uses 60 weight in the bobbin, embroidery thread that we use on the top is generally 40 weight. So those numbers just mean the higher the number, the thinner the thread. So your embroidery machine manual will tell you what size thread you need in the bobbin. But we're just going to use regular 40 weight thread on the top. And then my machine has its specific bobbin thread that I use, and I'm going to use white on both sides. Okay. Lo, I see people in here now. Okay. Hi, Michelle. Oh, okay, great. Hi, Lisa. It's nice to see you. Great. I'm glad it's better. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm going to flip my camera around so that you can see in front of me, and then we can sew this along together, and then we'll flip it back around, and you can watch me cut it all out and put all the snaps and everything in it, okay? So I had it set up so I could do it the other way, but let's try to do it on my phone, and I'm going to try to go this way. Going this way. It's not going to work. I don't want to make anybody queasy. Hi, Belle. It's nice to see you. Adela, hello. I have things for you. I need to tell Carla to come over and get your things because I have lots of goodies for you. I'm still moving stuff into my new sewing room. You can see the wall behind me is the door, and it's, you know, kind of empty, this area. So I'm still bringing stuff to put on the wall. Now you can see my embroidery machine right here. Okay, give me a thumbs up or something if you can see that. I can turn it just a little bit too so you can see what we're doing. And it'll look backward in the camera. So I hope that'll be okay. So I've got the design file loaded. There's just there's 3 steps in here. So there's the first step is a placement stitch. The second stitch is the lining, the outline. And it's going to stitch all the way around all of the pieces. It'll stitch all the way around everywhere to hold the front and the back on. And then the third step are the placements for the eyelet and for the snaps. So it's super easy and it goes super fast. So let's get this on here and let's get going. So I'm going to tell it to go. Lower my presser foot. I'm already threaded. So let's make the design. We're just making the outline right now, the placement stitch. And of course I'm using white, so that does make it harder to see, but I'll take it off and show you. Okay, we're gonna let that tie off and trim our thread. Let me take it off so you can see. So the outline, if I put this behind it, you could probably see it a little bit better. It just is the place. It's just basically the shape of the design file, okay? So what I want to make sure that I do is that I cover this outline that it drew. I'm going to cover that completely on the front and the back. Well, let me show you how I do that. I had to take my hoop off anyway because I'm going to cover the back first. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to cut a chunk of, that's a technical term, a chunk. It's a highly technical term. You could use a 4" by 4" piece of pre-cut vinyl. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of embroidery safe tape to tape it down to the back side. If you want to, you can use 505 spray or another spray that you like. I like using embroidery tape because it doesn't leave a residue on my material, but whatever kind of tape or spray you use, just be sure that it's, if you're going to use spray, you want to spray well away from your machine. You don't want any of that close to your machine. If you're going to use tape, you want to make sure that it's not going to leave a residue on your material. So there's lots of things that you got to keep in mind there. All right, so our tape is on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and slide my hoop in. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up the front as well. So I'm going to take this larger piece and I'm going to cover the stitching, and it's a little dusty from just now. And I'm going to put my presser foot down and let's run the stitching for the little, it's the stitching right here, all of this all around. Okay, so it's done stitching the outline. I'm going to go ahead and trim this one thread off. And then let's take it off the machine. You don't have to take it off right now. You could just push the button and go and stitch the placement stitches out for the eyelet in the top for this part. It's just a circle that's going to tell you where that eyelet's going to be placed, and then where you would place the snaps. But if you don't need those placement stitches, you can definitely skip this next step. I want to take this off because I want to double check that my backside is clean. Sometimes, and I'm going to go ahead and trim that thread off just because I like to trim as I go. Some people find that when they're using embroidery vinyl on the back of their hoops, they're getting a little bit of drag. And I was experiencing that with this machine as well. This is a new machine to me. I got it last summer, and so I've had to learn some things about it. And honestly, I wasn't very happy when I got it because I was getting the thing that everybody, you know, I hear people say, and I was like, oh no, this one does it too. Maybe it just doesn't work. And really, what turned out that I had the ability on this machine to raise the presser foot height. So I raised the presser foot so it's not pushing down so much on it as well. But I also am very careful that when I'm taping the backing on, that I don't have anything hanging off where, you know, the tape could get stuck and stick onto the bed of the machine or anything. So I've had to learn, you know, what the quirks are, and now it's working out great. So there's just little things. Every machine has little things. So I did want to double check that. The next thing that the design file is going to do, it's going to run a placement stitch here, here, and then right here at the top. So let's let it do that. It only takes, it takes less than a minute, actually. And then I'll show you how to set the eyelet and apply the snaps. And really, after that, we're done. Great, we're done. We're all done. Okay, so let me take it completely off the machine. And there's our earbud Betty in all of his shiny glory. My son Simon, who is 7, when he saw it this morning, he was like, oh, it's a gingerbread man without a head. And I thought, it does look like a gingerbread man. Or one of those Oompa Loompas. You know, I guess you could make them orange and they would be Oompa Loompa guys. But these little, these are just the tails of the beginning of the thread, and I want to trim them off right now. And I want to trim them off while the thread's tails are a little bit longer. If I cut them off while I'm trimming around it, then they're not so long and they're harder to get off. So let's see, let's get all those little tails off. And then we'll just cut him out. Let's see. Can you tell me more about embroidery tape? What kind is that? Michelle, this is pink painter's tape. I get it off of Amazon because I buy a zillion pounds of it at a time, and it's not specifically for embroidery. They make a tape that's specifically for embroidery, but that is a good tape to get. I'm not going to say not to get the right thing. I have tried a bunch of different kinds, and I found that the pink tape is very much like the blue painter's tape that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's, and it works really well. And it doesn't leave gooey stuff on my vinyl, or it doesn't leave any residue. It doesn't flip up like some other tapes that I've gotten before. That's what it is. But it's really 1 inch wide painter's tape that's not as tacky as regular masking tape. Okay, so it's out. So let's cut him out and we'll move on with some of the other steps. And when I'm cutting, I'm going to make sure to cut and turn the fabric and not my scissors. I'm actually holding my right hand pretty stationary. So I've seen a lot of questions lately about cutting and how to get good cuts, and really it's all about practice. So I just hold my scissors straight and turn the fabric. And he is a little bit of a challenge to cut out. I like to leave just a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch all the way around. But you can see right here why we need to do the same thread on the top and the bobbin. So if you are going to use colored thread, you know, you'll want to invest in some of the similar colored bobbin thread. If your machine takes the same thread as the top and the bottom, then by all means wind your bobbin with the same thread that you're using on the top, for sure. Okay, here's our little buddy all cut out. And I love the way this vinyl just sparkles and shines. It's just so fun. So these are, you know, they're perfect for guys, girls, everybody. And honestly, in my house, everybody needs something to keep their earbuds. The older kids have all invested in their own AirPods, but we're not doing that with little kids yet. And I'm not really old enough and responsible enough to take care of AirPods either. Okay, so this top placement stitch right here is for your eyelet. So the first thing we need to do is we need to punch a hole for the eyelet. So I'm going to use my crocodile, and I've got the big bite, but the handheld crocodile works the same way. And the way this works is that there are hole punchers on here. So it's got two sizes of holes that it'll punch. It'll punch a small 1/8 of an inch hole, and then it'll punch a larger 3/16 of an inch hole. And I'm going to use the largest hole because I'm using a 5 millimeter eyelet. I've been answering questions on private messages all day about milliliters on hand sanitizer holders. So I had milliliters on the brain, millimeters. And I'm just going to use that to punch the hole through there. Okay. If you have another kind of punch that punches through 2 layers of vinyl or leather, by all means, use what you have. Don't go buy something new. But if you need to buy something new, the crocodile is the way to go. And if you want to get, you know, this has a lot more squeezy power than the smaller crocodile. So if you need squeezy power because you just need that extra help, by all means, get the big bite. Okay, what I did with my eyelet is I just took it and I'm setting it in that hole. I'm just pushing it through. You know what, I'm going to use a lighter one so that you can see. This one's a little bit lighter of a blue. And I just set it in there. Now my crocodile has a setting that I looked at when I got it, and I set this top part right here to use with these certain kind of eyelets. So I don't ever change it, but your crocodile can be changed. So if you use it for scrapbooking and you use different kinds of doodads on your scrapbook pages, then you can look up in the paperwork that comes with your setter which top and bottom piece to rotate it to. Mine is set because the only thing I use it for is really setting eyelets and things. And so mine is set with the right, it's like A, B, C, D on the top and the bottom. And so it's set that way. And I don't have to think about it anymore. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the eyelet part of the crocodile, of the earbud buddy, up toward the top of the crocodile. And then make sure that that little prong goes right into it. And then I'm going to give it a squeeze. And that eyelet is going to be set perfectly. Do you see that on the back? It's smooth. It's not rough. There's no metal pieces sticking out that are going to hurt anybody. It's just perfect. That's why I love a crocodile. Okay, the next thing we need snaps for his little arm bones. And arm bones. Like I'm talking to the 7-year-old all day. Which in my head, he's really not 7, he's like 3. But he's not, he's 7, he's practically grown. But we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna put some snaps on him. So I brought some snaps over, and I'm gonna use cam snaps. These are the same resin snaps that we use for making snap tabs. So these come from, you can get several places online, you can get them at. I like to get them from ilikebigbuttons.com or camsnaps.com. And you can use your handheld pliers or you can use your table press to put these on. Let me show you how we're going to put these on though. So the right side of the eyelet is what I call the front or the face of this earbud buddy. And now that I say that that's his face and that Simon said it would look like a gingerbread man, I'm going to have to make some that have heads on them that have expressions because I can't not. I have to. I just didn't have time today. But I'm going to say that this part, the right side of the eyelet, is the front. And so that's the part when I put where I wrap the arms around, I want to have one of the snaps on top. I want to make sure that my snaps are going to be able to snap onto each other. And it doesn't matter if it's left over right or right over left. It doesn't matter at all. But one of the snap caps has to be on the top and one of them has to be on the back. Okay, so it's you got to wrap your brain around. That's why I wanted to do this video, so I could show you why or what happened. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the top here, so on the front, and let's get him poked through really well. I'm going to get a seam ripper and poke a hole, just to poke a hole through there so that the prong of the snap can go through without a lot of pressure. I'm not sure what's going on with my hands, but it's been very hard lately to squeeze things through. And it's probably something I need to go to the doctor about, but I haven't done it yet. Okay, so I've got one through the front. And before I put the snaps on, put the stud and socket on, I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one on so it's going the right way. I'm gonna punch a hole through with my seam ripper. You can use the awl if your snap press came with an awl. And I'm gonna put this one in from the other side. Okay. Hi, Brenda. Okay, so what is happening here is I've got one snap coming from the front to the back and one snap coming from the back to the front. The prongs are coming out the other way. So now what I have to remember to do is I want to make sure that one of them is a stud and one of them is a socket. And here is the stud. The stud is the one that's an outie. So if you think about a belly button, it's an outie. And I'm going to put the stud on the one that's going to snap into the socket. So in my brain, that works like this, so that the one that's folding over to be on the top is the stud, and the one that's on the bottom is the socket. And I don't think it really matters, but that's the way my brain works. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give it a little squeeze. This snap press that I got from camsnaps.com is really nice because I don't have to switch the dies to use for stud and socket differently. So that actually saves me a lot of time. And then with the stock socket on the other side, the socket is the one that is like an any belly button. And it will be on the other side. Okay, so I got my stud and my socket snapped together. And we can double check them. When you're doing stuff with cam snaps, it's always a good idea, especially if you make them for other people or you make them to sell, to test out your snap to make sure you got a good application on there. And if you didn't and your snap pops off now, it's much easier to set it again with a new stud and socket than it is to get something back and have to fix it later. Okay, so he's ready. And what we need to do now is we need to put a ring on here with I'll show you what I used. I actually used a regular little key ring. So this is one of the 1-inch key rings. And then I found these tiny lobster clasps that have a rounded bottom. And it's not as big as the 3/4-inch lobster clasps. But you can get these at any craft store or any... I was even in a new quilt store today just for fun, and I saw they had a ton of purse hardware. So any place that has purse hardware, you can get different shapes and sizes of these lobster clasps. So let me even show you some that I found that were super fun. I got these. Look at those rose gold ones. Aren't those pretty? I got those at, you know, Hobby Lobby. Of course, they were quite a bit more than the ones that you can get in bulk when you buy them from a quilt store or in the purse hardware section. These are so much cheaper. This is another one that I found. This one just comes with the lobster clasp, and I slid it on the keyring, so that came separately. But isn't that one pretty? But it's a little bit harder to open because of the way the mechanism works. So I like the kind with the trigger just because they're easier to pinch and pull open. Okay, so let's put the... I've got a lot of stuff in front of me. Let's put the ring onto the eyelet area so you can see how to do that. These are a pair of jump ring plier openers. Jump ring opener pliers. They look like this. They're basically pliers that have a little hook right here at the top. And this little hook you can use between the wires of a split ring. And you can use this for large split rings or small split rings. It doesn't matter. And it opens it up for you, and it saves your fingernails, which is really nice. And then you're just going to take your opened up keyring and thread it through this hole. Of course, because I'm trying to do it on camera, it's not going to quite work. But we're going to get in there. We will win. And I'm just going to thread it through. And then while this is open over here, I'm going to go ahead and put my lobster clasp in at the same time. So here is a, let me grab it. Here is one. This one has a little bit different opening. It's kind of got an oval, but it's the same kind with the trigger. And while this ring is still open over here on the eyelet, I'm going to slip that in too, so I don't have to open that ring up again. And then I'm just going to use these to grab it and rotate that in until it's all the way through. Now it's in and it's secure and it's ready to go. We can snap his little arms together and he's ready. He's ready for it to wrap your earbuds around and keep them safe and secure. It's so easy. So without me talking, this actually takes only about, let me come back over here so I can talk to you. Without me talking, this actually only takes about 5 minutes. It takes less than 5 minutes for stitching it for sure. It takes, you know, less than a minute to cut it out and then less than that to apply the hardware. And it's just because I was talking that it took longer than that. I'm not sure how long it took, but it took a while. Anyway, that's him. That's it. And I hope that these are something helpful for you, that maybe will solve a problem in your house like it did in mine today. I sent kids off to school with theirs and they made it back home with their earbuds, so we weren't going out to go get more earbuds. I think we bought earbuds and earphones every week since we started distance learning, and it's been an expensive nightmare. So anyway, this is a timely design for our house, and I hope that this is meaningful and works for other people too. Let me see. Oh, Joanne said if you have a staple puller, they work great too. Yes, they do. They really do. The nice thing about these jump ring openers is they also work for the really tiny split rings when you're making jewelry. So sometimes I like to use when I'm doing earrings. Do I have any close by? I do. Sometimes when I'm doing earrings, these are on my table because I was making them for last week's Heart Hop fun. This bottom earring, bottom jump ring. So there are two jump rings right here. There's a little bitty one at the top, and there's a larger one that's actually in the earring piece, the felty part that we made. And this larger one, no, that's not right. The smaller one is the one I've been using the teeny tiny jump rings for, because when you're putting jump rings together, there are the opening parts are the spots where it could fail. And so I found by eliminating one of the places where the opening process can go off, my earrings stay together better. And I like, you know, it's going to last longer. So I've been using the split rings on the top one and then the jump rings, the regular jump rings that are just a single loop around for the bottom one. And these work even on the itty bitty 4mm split rings. So big key rings, big giant, you know, 1.5 inch key rings and itty bitty split rings for jewelry. It works equally well on. So it's a good tool to have. What else? Staple puller. Yep. Yeah, I know. So Paul keeps telling me I need to open up a supply shop. I'm like, maybe if I could figure out how to get things. I mean, I know how to get things in bulk because I buy them in bulk for myself. Maybe I should just say, here, we're all going to buy these supplies. I could do that. I don't know. The taxes on that, I think, would kill me. Anything else? Nope. Okay. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. And I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. I am determined to beat them, and I don't know what it's going to take for that, but I'm going to get there. So thank you for hanging out with me. It's nice to see you all. I hope you're making some cool stuff, and we will talk to you guys later.